Hi, in this video we're going to talk about inventory valuation and the accounting setup that is surrounded by it. So the first part we'll be talking about is the account settings. The next would be for how the journal process works. The third point would be how inventory names and quantities can be updated or imported. And the last point would be to import any inventory details. Right, let's get started. Alright, so first I'd like to do the product check. So right now the client that I'm working with has I guess you all if you've made no changes, something like alls / something, but here at this client we've got some categories of products. So let's head over to one of them because the client uses average cost as their inventory, and since they have a very short accounting cycle, it's better to have everything automated. Valuation. So notice if you guys currently probably have something selected as manual. If you see manual here, you're going to see that the account stock probably has none of the fields highlighted, but when you put it to automated, you see these fields become compulsory to define. So how the cycle works basically is everything has to first go in this account. So when you purchase an inventory item, it goes in this account first, and then goes to the cost of sale. And finally, any movement in purchases that has an effect on average cost comes down to inventory account. Now, let's do an example to see how these three accounts play their role. So I'm going to create a product, and when I do that, I'm going to make sure that trading items that following the exact same things we've discussed. So I'm going to say trading product categories, trading product. What I'd like to invoicing section, however, to change the account setup here, process account, and let's define the sales price. Notice we can't update the cost, it's automated, so I'd like to respect that. Save the product, and no quantity on hand. We're going to move on to invoicing section now. Before I move forward, I'd like to tell you that I've downloaded an add-on that lets me automatically update any movement in my through my sales invoices. This application all stock peak. I give you the link of this application in the description below. So what it does, rather than going through the whole process of creating sales order first, doing those invoicing and then receiving the product, you can just directly receive the product as soon as you make the sales invoice. Now, this is most relevant for companies coming back. For example, to purchase one of the trading items. We basically are going to create a random invoice. See how it works out. And our product name was product trading product. Yes. You'll notice that the account here changed. Now, some of you may not be able to see the account associated with the product, which is because in your settings user settings, basically. It's not enabled. I'm going to give you like a really short example here. Say one FTP member here has limited rights, which is right here. Show accounting features has been unchecked. So if this is checked for you, you can have access to this account view. Now, moving on, we'd like to add and currency Saudi rel at the moment, and we're going to validate. Now, I'm afraid I'm not really sure if my setting configured to that application. Yeah. No. So once you remember that application that I was talking about, once you download that application, you're supposed to configure it for. I guess that will here. My shipment product. Notice this box checked. Don't save, and then on to creating a purchase. So rather than just leaving the open purchase bill, I'm just going to create one. The good thing about this exercise is you're getting to know other settings and configurations once you can basically something similar. So you know how to get around that. Okay, we're going to create another vendor bill. First one we just be kind of messed up a bit. Create another bill, and we're going to add the same product. Remember the name is fine. So we're going to have for units. Price. So other things configure here. I'm going to click validate here, and you notice that difference in how the application. There's a stock. Now, you know, maybe I was fast configuration. Well, let's go ahead and see what it is. One of the things. Yeah, this is definitely not the configuration. I'm sorry, guys. Let's just get these. You guys would get to know, you know, real configuration that needs to be done. This wrong. Where you don't. Oh yeah. Select picking. Okay. Well, that happens. Well, it's good. Things go wrong and how to fix them. Fine. So once it's saved, it takes a little while because I'm running it on the local server, which is not as fast as it should be. Okay. So we're going to get another one now. Right. So great. Notice with every other entry that I've done, it hasn't any ending. You guys see this button. Well, let's add units and value. We're going to validate this. We're going to say shipment 1 now. Oops, sorry. Let me show you guys that no matter what we were doing, we change product that we're working with. It's called trading product. Here's zero quantity hand. Now, moving on to the bill. Now that there's one on ship. Now what you see here is initial demand was 100 units, and how much got done stays 0. Once you press validate, it automatically fills it up. It's a small company, as I discussed, a small cycle that speeds up their work. As soon as you make vendor bill, 100 units are confirmed now, and of course our vendor bill has been posted, and so is our warehouse inventory posted. I'm going to show you journal entries, but before that, I'm going to show you what changed as is on the product. Let's see if I press refresh, that takes me to the right product. Okay, great. As you can see now, we have 100 units on this product. And the cost has been updated. Now, this was the front view. Let's see what's happening in journal time. So we're going to go to accounting advice entries and then journal entries. So it's going to show us, first it's going to show inventory movement, but we're like what a vendor bill has done. So this was the correct vendor bill that we made. As you can see in this entry that our first debit was an in-process inventory. So, and then we had a VAT, and then we had a credit side. On the credit side, we had accounts payable. Now, this is not just one entry because this was just for vendor bill. Remember when we made a warehouse validation of 100 units? Yes, this is that reference. Now what you would see is we're actually debiting the inventory account, the real inventory. And then there was another clearing account. Remember when we spoke earlier, I told you there's going to be a clearing account. Now we've credited out, and now the product has finally been recorded correct inventory account. That's the entire purpose of this setup that we spoke earlier. Now moving on, I'd like to speak about what happens when we do a sales transaction. I'd also like to speak about movement in cost. That would only impact if you're doing a purchase entry. We're going to do a purchase entry. Let's just do one quick purchase entry right now to show you changes in average cost. So we're going to pull up another vendor here. It's the same vendor basically, but the product is going to be the same so that I can show you changes on the exact same product right now. And so we're going to use like a quantity of about 10 units now this time, but the unit price is going to change. We're going to change it to 15 units, and the amount is going to be 150. And then let's do a validate, and we're going to do the same run. But you'll notice that, of course, the shipment's going to turn 1. That's where when the warehouse receives the product. Run validate similarly before, and you're going to notice that there's going to be some change in average cost. We can do that by F5 on let's tab, so it's no longer going to be the exact 10. It should change. Great, it's 1045. Great, so that's the average cost update. Now I'd like to show what happens when we make a customer invoice. I hope I'm not very fast. If I am, you guys are free to pause the video. Alright, so I'm gonna do a customer, pick up a random customer, and let me pick a state. You guys may not notice this in your. You can get this an add-on which is available on the apps section of Odoo. It just forces you to get an invoice number. I guess I've made a video about this already. But moving on to your topic, and then select the product about. Now you're going to notice this time the account is not being in process inventory. Of course, sales, right? So just make sure that got this understood. We're gonna sell 5 units at the price of 30. Going to give us 50. Right, and we're gonna validate this. Once we do this, you're gonna notice the movement in where it says picking truck. That's where it actually thing ready to ship. Okay, go ahead, click that and validate that. Similar to purchase, you would see 5 demanded, 5 reserved. How much is done? How much is sent out really? So if you press validate, this is going to just press, put 5 there, or you could manually by double clicking that. But this, for the purpose of the video, we're moving very fast. It's probably going to be a long video. So moving on, let's see how the journal entry has been done. Let's see the customer invoice first. So first, we're going to look at what's debited, what's correct, account receivable. Then we've got the VAT payable, that's fine. Then we've got credit sales trading. Notice no movement of inventory is found here, which is quite reasonable. Let's go to journal entry again, and let's see what has been done. Now, recorded the revenue, we also recorded the cost of sale. Now, moved the item using the average costing, its value, to the inventory account, which is the real account, and not the in-process account. Now, this is value deduction. How about quantity deduction? If you guys remember, we just had 5 units that we reduced, and we have had added before, so we had 110 units on hand, and we made a transaction of 5 units sold out. This turned out, I've just refreshed it to 305 now. Showing you guys how the quantity is also updated value. Great. See, there's 105. Perfect. Now we've talked about the entire process. Lastly, I'd like to speak about 2 things, which is importing inventory names and quantity. So when you head over to inventory section, go over to products, and then you click import. Perfect. Okay, so you're going to have a link description for these next one. Right now we're going to work with inventory name with settings, so I'm just going to load this file real quick, and I'm going to talk about the fields that you see. So this is going to import products, so we've got the names here, we've got cost method, internal category, which we have seen earlier, which comes under product categories right here, and then we have the expense account. So when you're doing a purchase invoice and when you put the item there, it's going to pop up an account. So this is the account. So right now it's the in-process account that we use, and then the standard pricing for each of these items. We're going to import this, and it should take us to the products place. And if we can't see, it's easier to just when you group by internal category, we could easily see the products. As you can see now, we've got the 9092. These 4 products that we imported. See, these are right here. Now you must be wondering how we can put the quantities in, because you go with one of the products, you can see you can't really add quantity here. So best way to do that would to go to inventory adjustments. So it's not really nice to have manually inventory. So you should do it at inventory balance, or when you have perpetual inventory schedule. So we're just going to select the desired category here, which we have this. In case you don't, you select manual products, and force an accounting date. If that's done on the first of the month, virtual inventory, and then click hit start. It's the same process that we've already discussed in one of our videos earlier. So what you basically do is the other file that I have here, which is for import inventory adjustment. This file is pull up this file. So you're not going to notice right now on your screen, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste the values here, and I'm going to import this guys. Okay, so back on the screen, what we do is we basically click details, and then we import it. I know we've already discussed this before, but let's do it again. And then we test import. It's better to test it. Great, looks good. Just press import. Once you see this, then you're going to notice the real quantities being done here. Just go over to balance and validate inventory. Once you do that, it's going to punch the quantities in those fields. It's going to impact on our inventory valuation account. We can head over there now. 1 second. Let me just show you guys how it impacts. This valuation account, which is inventory fabric, we're going to pull up some show you guys what really happened there. I've got an add-on here which helps me to date fabric, and let's see quickly now. So as you see, we added quantities. So this is quantities times the value, which is definitely going to. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just show you guys. If you see the date, it's going to tell you where the entry has been reflected. Quantity times the price that we had in there when we imported it gives us the value of the inventory and the movement of the account. Now, let us look at the last thing in this video, which is the Odoo inventory update. So there are chances when you've imported loads of data and you'd now like to, you've done some mistake and you'd like to, just change that portion of that. Not messing up with other areas. So, for example, 9092. If you go to this area that we imported, you're going to notice in internal reference, you have nothing here, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how we can actually import this without losing much of time. I'm going to pause the video for a bit. We're going to look how we can update existing inventory details without having to duplicate it, because if you guys go ahead and import the same products with changes, it's not going to work because it's going to duplicate it. So I'm going to show you guys how you can actually make your life easier and then just update the same products. Select the items, click action export. Once you export it, you're going to get, I'm going to show you guys, just pick up the name here, product name, and then hit export file. Once you export, it's going to list out the names, which is this, plus the unique ID number for each product. You can find an example of this in the inventory update Excel sheet. And I'm gonna show you guys just one of that over here. Let me pull that file so we can demonstrate what I'm trying to explain here. Okay, so as you guys can see in this Excel sheet, it had an external ID and an internal reference. I don't like the testing one there because it's already there. I just want the item codes. So what I would do is basically remove that from this, then reload the file. Okay, so I've done that change. Now I'm going to reload this file, and you're going to notice, great. So I just want, instead of the complete name, the ID, I just want the ID number. And we're going to do a test import, and now import the file. So you're going to notice that internal reference before, there you go. Internal reference before it was blank, and now we have a reference. Similarly, like this, you can make a lot of changes to existing files. Please remember, if you do not include the external ID, you're going to duplicate the inventory item. So that's the end of this video. If you have any questions, please mention in the comments, and I would really like and appreciate if you guys can subscribe to the channel so that the latest videos get into your notification. Thank you guys. Bye for now.